Hey there, how y'all doing? I'm Lil Joe, and I'm here to get you set on the all-new season School Zone Dallas. Now before we start the show off proper, I'm gonna send you to my pals Abe and Kirsten, and they'll fill you in on last year's show. And trust me, if you missed it, you missed a whole lot.
We ran along with the after-school running club at Louise Wolf Kahn Elementary,
as well as attended the amazing International Fair at Hillcrest High School.
We learned more about DISD's Youth Mentoring Initiative during a visit to South Oak Cliff.
And met outstanding volunteers like Anita Noel, named a hero for Texas children by the Texas Education Agency.
Parade rest! We also checked in on W.E. Griner's awesome ROTC program,
as well as tried to keep up with the energetic ambassadors from Thomas Tolbert Elementary.
And who can forget amazing schools like DISD's newest Blue Ribbon School, George Bannerman Dealey Montessori,
or Julius C. Frazier Elementary in South Dallas, where students there outperform those in Plano and Highland Park.
Whew! And that's not even mentioning exclusive interviews with stars such as Dallas Mavericks' own Steve Nash,
as well as the one and only Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I'll be back.
Okay, so now that we're all caught up, let's not waste any more time with me in here. And let's see the very best of DISD. So take us away, Abe.
Get ready because School Zone Dallas is back and better than ever.
That's right, we're here to put some positive attitudes on the airwaves by bringing you the very best and brightest of DISD.
And today is no exception, as we're coming to you from Lincoln High School Communications Magnet, where there's all kinds of cool stuff going on inside.
Let's go.
On this edition of School Zone Dallas, we'll meet up with a group of students fine-tuning their craft on their way to a musical career.
We'll also rough it with some young entrepreneurs at Camp Enterprise,
as well as get to know the DISD Teacher of the Year.
All that and much, much more.
So buckle up and get ready for School Zone Dallas. Hi, I'm Abe, a junior at Bryan Adams High School.
And I'm Kirsten, a senior at Carter High School. Welcome to the brand new season of School Zone Dallas. Today, we're at Lincoln High School, the Humanities and Communications Magnet for DISD.
Here, students get all kinds of great hands-on experience with various forms of media. And to learn more about it, we go to our on-the-spot reporter, Cari, on the scene.
Hey guys, Cari here, and I'm here in the studio where students take what they learn about TV and video and bring it to life. This place may be empty now, but just wait until the next edition of the Lincoln News gets set to hit the air.
Everyone can see it. It's a pretty too. Not only do we have pictures to see it, but it's also disappointing that everybody's not allowed to listen to hear and see the dynamic of the business.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us here at KTGR News. I'm Amina Elamy.
And I'm Alicia Robinson.
Lincoln's situation is we have a school within a school. We have Lincoln High School, and then right around the corner we have the magnet, the Humanities Communications Magnet. It's composed of 3 different clusters: the Humanities Cluster, the Radio Television Cluster, and the Journalism Cluster, and we all kind of work hand in hand.
I want you to make sure you get everybody in line.
But at Lincoln we have a really unique opportunity. We have been blessed to have equipment that is comparable to what is being used in the real world. We have digital cameras, very similar to the cameras that are being used in major market television news organizations. In the journalism department, they work with some of the same software used by the Dallas Morning News, the Dallas Weekly, the Dallas Observer, where the stories are laid out in the computer. You get a certain number of words and you fill in your block, and then they can manipulate that and make it come out to a newspaper.
Looks like the 49ers are getting red carpet treatment too, Roy. Sure does, Denissa.
In our edit bays, we have $60,000 nonlinear edit machines in each of the rooms, and there are a total of 10 different rooms. And that's very similar to a situation they would find if they walked into Channel 8 or Channel 5 or Channel 4, one of the major network stations. So in effect, when they come out of here, they have been trained on equipment that they will actually be using. So they learn not only the theory, but the practical experience as well.
Coming here to Lincoln and just kind of mocking some of the stuff that actually goes on in the professional world, it actually shows us how much we need to focus and how much we need to do in order to get to that next level. When I came to Lincoln, I came with the mind to go into producing after I graduated from high school and after finishing college. I like being in leadership roles, and so producing helps me fulfill my leadership roles.
All right, here we go. We're going to take it from the top. I want kids to learn how to express themselves through the different pieces of equipment and the arts that we have here. We have many students who have gone through, completed the course, and have gone on to work in the field in a very successful manner.
In 10 years, I would like to see myself actually working for a news station as a producer or on my way to becoming a producer for the evening news.
Wow, students around here keep very busy. I'll be back later in the show to tell you all about how the students and staff are working hard to better their community. And it has something to do with the cemetery right next door. I'll see you guys in a few.
Thanks, Cari. You know, not many people have heard of the country Swaziland, located in southern Africa and roughly the size of Hawaii. However, students in Lincoln High School will soon learn a lot firsthand.
Lincoln is partners with St. Anne's, an all-girls school in Swaziland that will send ambassadors here next month. Students and teachers will have the opportunity to exchange ideas on technology and education, as well as learn more about each other's culture. This spring, Lincoln students will make a similar visit to Africa, as well as communicate directly with their new friends via the school's distance learning lab.
It's all about plugging into the global community and learning more about others. Now, speaking about plugging into the community, the Dallas Symphony Orchestra is very active at giving DISD students the opportunity to reach their fullest musical potential. The program is called Young Strings. Here's Rachel to tell us more about it.
Hi y'all, I'm here at the Morton H. Meyerson Symphony Center, home of the Dallas Symphony Orchestra, where today we are going to meet some very talented musicians. Targeting African American and Hispanic students, Young Strings provides DISD students with the skills and resources necessary to pursue a career in the field of music.
The Young Strings program started approximately 15 years ago due to concerns about the makeup of the American Symphony Orchestra. The Young Strings program exists to discover, develop, and promote the talents of young minority string students.
The thing that made me decide to want to become a member of Young Strings is that my passion for the cello has grown since I've played it. And it looked like a good program, so I joined.
One of the most important things I learned is that it takes a lot of hard work and determination. I mean, you can't just, just not practice. You have to be focused and motivated to achieve the goals that you have.
The students, I've taught with the Young Strings since its inception, and the students actually have gotten a higher caliber of performance. They come to us much more prepared than when we first started.
I get to go to concerts, camps, recitals, and meet people that are in are higher level than me, and I want to be like them.
Well, this being my 10th year, I've seen students from first grade through 10th stay with the program and really become accomplished violinists, and that's been very rewarding.
This is so exciting. Members of the Young Strings are set for the performance at the Meyerson tonight, so just sit back and enjoy the music.
are many resources available to our students. We have the mentoring and tutoring program. They have summer study at different summer camps such as Interlochen, Apple Hill, Tanglewood. We have master classes with the guest artists with the DSO. We help them prepare for audition, application to colleges. They get free tuition to the Greater Dallas Youth Orchestra, the New Conservatory of Dallas. So we try to provide them as many outlets as possible.
I've had a good experience with Young Strings.
I really am thankful for Young Strings.
My very favorite thing is that you get to play. You get a chance to play.
It is a very warm, rewarding relationship, and it lasts a lifetime.
What a wonderful performance. For School Zone Dallas, I'm Rachel.
Hi, I'm Abe, junior at Hernandez High School.
Looking good.
All right, Abe. This summer, a group of DISD students descended upon Camp Hablazell to attend the 16th annual Camp Enterprise. There, students learn more about becoming an entrepreneur and pursuing their business dreams. I was there and had a camera with me. Check it out. Nestled just south of Dallas is a place where dreams come true, and it's called Camp Hablazell. But during one weekend in August, it transforms into Camp Enterprise!
Now y'all notice that you're all sitting in a group, and these are your teams, and their teams are very important. These are going to be your buds for the next 2 days.
Camp Enterprise is a joint venture between the Dallas Rotary Club and the Dallas Independent School District, where we take around 100 high school seniors from about 27 high schools from the Dallas area, primarily from the DISD, and they go off for 3 days, and then we put them on teams. Generally they're on a team with somebody they've never met before, so they're forming a company. Throughout the weekend they compete on a business simulation computer model for prize money, and also rotate the leadership of that team throughout the camp.
Here we are at Camp E, and I'm a part of Group 12.
I'm also part of Group 12, and the company we came up with is the College Stop.
How, like when I was senior school.
At first we brainstormed ideas about transportation, what a student needs in his dorm, his or her dorm, you know. When you're starting college, basically your necessities that you're going to have for college, you know, instead of having to go to shop for clothes and, you know, shop for computers and go to different places, we all have it in one store, you know, and the, you know, little lamps and furniture and your bins and your laundry baskets and, you know, video games.
Hi, my name is Taylor. I'm a member of Group 14, and we've come up with a company called That's You, which is a clothing company for people who would really just like to design their own clothes, and you have this, if you decide you want a certain type of color but they don't have it, and this type of pants or style or sizes, colors, you pretty much make it yourself. Like you tell the people, the company, and then they go ahead and make it for you, and then within a couple of weeks or to a week, you have it done, and it's your design.
It's critical for the teams to come together and form a unit, much like you would do in the business world. Say a committee was formed and we have a project to work and we don't really know each other's skills and really know very much about each other. We have to come together in a short period of time, pool our resources, and then move forward for a solution. We rotate leadership of the team each project, so no one person is in charge of the team throughout the camp.
After we decided on our company, we knew that we had to come up with like a little jingle, like a little song, like a little skit to present in front of everybody. We also had to draw on our papers and everything. We had to come up with the logo and all that to present to all the other groups and present to them and explain everything in our group and how our company will, you know, try to run.
Well, there are four variables for each round. They have to determine how much are they going to sell the product for, how many are they going to make, how much are they going to spend on marketing or advertising, and then finally, how much are they going to spend on additional capacity to build a bigger plant to make more product. They're learning about supply and demand, learning about what is likely to happen from a competitor. In addition to the computer game, we'll have business panels from, say, local political leaders. We've had government officials out. We've had large CEOs of large corporations come out and sit on a panel. We have a gentleman who is a CEO of a fairly large company here in Dallas that also is a stunt pilot and comes out and does an air show on Saturday afternoon and then lands and leads a business panel of his contemporaries. So that's kind of a neat event for them.
After we decided what company and what we were going to do, we had to come up with what we were going to do as a presentation. So we came up with a really cool skit that we're going to do as like a commercial, and then we had to come up with the logo, and that took a little time because there's so many things that you can do for logos. So, and then we discussed on maybe catchphrases that we could use.
The atmosphere here is real friendly. You know, everybody's just big, friendly environment. That's what I like.
It's very friendly. I've made a lot of friends. At first I was kind of hesitant to start meeting people, but getting into the different groups and everything, I've made tons of friends from Hillcrest and Skyline and all over the place. So it's really friendly here.
I like working with youth. I like what this camp has done. It gives me a chance to see the future of America and see what kind of leadership skills that our country is being inherited with the way we're teaching the free enterprise system out here.
Hey guys, I'm back, and I'm actually standing out here in the middle of the L.B. Nelson Cemetery located right next door to Lincoln. Just a few months ago, this place lay in a state of complete disarray and neglect. But like any good neighbor, the students and staff have teamed up with the community to help bring this place back to the glory it once was.
All right, let's go. Silent Souls is a project of our ancestors that's buried adjacent to us in the L.B. Nelson Cemetery.
The park department took it over in 1970 because it was in such bad shape. They said you could ride a horse through here and you couldn't even see you because of weeds and everything. So the park department, after the people in the neighborhood wanted it preserved, took it over, and they've been mowing it ever since. But the vandalism had already taken place.
A couple of months ago, the headstones were kind of damaged and the tree limbs were everywhere. And you know, if you walk, you didn't know where you're walking. Right now, we're just picking up headstones and getting names of the people that's on there, and dusting them off, gluing them back up to where they look neater than they were.
Educational opportunities are found all over the cemetery as students discover and learn more about our city's history.
The Silent Souls Project offers the students a wonderful opportunity at Lincoln to include many of their academics, athletics, and other core subjects in with the cemetery. For example, when students go out to do the measuring of the stones, also the measuring of the plot, and use some of the information that they've learned in the classroom to extend beyond. Also, the historical aspects are very important for students to read about history and the different movements in time. It becomes alive and very important to them, and they begin to take ownership of that information.
How are you marking the stones?
Being here makes me feel good on the inside, makes me feel good spiritually because I'm out here helping the community, helping families of those who are out here, and it just makes me feel better to know that there's something being done.
The late Mayor Maynard Jackson's family is buried in that very cemetery. Councilman Leo Cheney's family is buried in that same cemetery. Charles Rice, many of the other people, B.F. Durrell, J.P. Stark, the schools are named after these great people. They're buried in that cemetery.
We didn't have a headstone for him, but I have the Bible to document that he was buried here up on the front of this cemetery. This is a picture of Napoleon Treviño, my grandfather.
If our students today take the ownership and pride in a project like the cemetery, years from now they will be the ones to carry it on, leave a legacy, obtain the information, and make a difference in years to come.
I'd like for young people to know and see that this cemetery behind us carries a historical memory of our ancestors who fought and died to make us free and to make them become productive citizens and educated citizens. That's my vision.
It's great to see everyone come together like that and help out.
I agree. Lincoln is planning further beautification efforts in the future for the cemetery, and Miss James is continuing her work on getting it named a historical site.
From cooperation within the community to outstanding teachers, DISD has it all. To introduce us to one of DISD's finest, let's take it to Saul, who's standing by.
Thanks, guys. Right now I'm standing outside Thomas C. Marsh Middle School, where for the past 11 years, Nancy Bagwell has taught 7th grade language arts. This past May, she received one of DISD's highest honors when she was named the 2003-2004 Teacher of the Year.
And I really thank you for thinking that the things that I do every single day are worthy of this honor.
As we're about to see, Ms. Bagwell is an amazing teacher with many interests.
I used to not really like to read, but she makes reading fun.
She's one of those teachers who makes you want to learn.
She knows how to teach very well.
All of my children are completely different, and she has had to use different teaching techniques with each one.
Anyone who knows her realizes she's a very formal-like individual. But one instance, she was able to just let that guard down, and it was on a talent show. And what made this unique was the kids had no idea who was going to be on this talent show. And when the kids saw that, they went berserk.
It's just been phenomenal, all the things that the children have come up with on their own. They are a big supporter of Family Gateway. Somebody once said that convicted felons are only people who were never taken to museums and theaters as young children. So I'm convinced that that doesn't need to happen to the children that I teach. I started using it more in my classroom, and then I wanted the children to get to use it too. So I began to look for all kinds of staff development whose end product was a computer that I could earn from my classroom. Our team came up with the concept of the website. Sometimes the parents realize that middle school is hard for them too, because suddenly their child doesn't tell them as much as they did in elementary school. My husband and I have been married a really long time, 30 plus years. And we have two wonderful children. John just graduated from Baylor a year ago. Our daughter got married just out of A&M to another Aggie. And Matt, our son-in-law, graduated one day, and the next day he was commissioned into the Air Force. I love to read. I just read all the time. I also love to garden. We have a farm in Mississippi. It's the farm actually that my husband grew up on as a child. We love to go there. We love to four-wheel. We love to walk in the fields. I was diagnosed in the fall of 2000 with breast cancer. My sister wrote evidently a very persuasive letter because somehow she convinced somebody to allow me to participate in what was called the Circle of Survivors. That was a group of women, I think there were about 8 of us, who held hands and symbolically began the race. We cut the ribbon at the beginning of the race, and then we also closed the race. So when the whole race was over, they held us back. 2,000 women entered ahead of us, and then we came in marching down this runway holding hands together. There wasn't a dry eye on any one of us. There wasn't a dry eye in the audience, and all the participants in the race took off one shoe and held it aloft in our honor.
She reminds me so much of the great teachers that I had.
She's always been very uplifting and never let anyone think that anything bad has happened to her.
It's just like the ripple effect of a pebble thrown into a lake where the rings of water just go outward and outward. So hopefully I'm that little pebble in some of those children's lives.
We all wish Miss Bagwell nothing but the best, but unfortunately, that's all the time we have for this month's edition of School Zone Dallas.
We've gone to the cemetery, visited the symphony, followed the live newscast, and learned what it takes to succeed in business. Not bad for a 30-minute show.
And that's just the start of what's yet to come. The tip of the iceberg, the greatest. Hey, if something cool is going down at your school, you want to let us know about it? Drop us a line at schoolzone@dallasisd.org.
Or check us out on the web at www.dallasisd.org/schoolzone to learn more about the show.
Join us next month as we come to you from Walnut Hill Elementary School in North Dallas.
But until then, remember to keep it right here in the zone.
Hold on, because School Zone Dallas is coming right at you.
That's right. Today we're outside of Walnut Hill Elementary School, recipient of the 1998 Blue Ribbon Award for Special Emphasis in Character and the 2000 National School of Character, the first school in Texas to do so.
It's quite an honor. We're going to be telling you a lot more about Walnut Hill, as well as bringing the best and brightest of DISD.
Science, music, technology, culture, it's all coming your way right now.
This month on School Zone Dallas, we'll head into battle with David W. Carter High School as they compete in the 19th Annual Battle of the Bands.
As well as see committed volunteers help distribute free computers to DISD parents. Thank you.
And we'll get to know the one and only butterfly guy at Martha Turner Riley Elementary, who will show us just what a difference a volunteer can make.
All this and a whole lot more.
We're ready to head into the zone. School Zone Dallas. Hi, I'm Abe, junior at Bryan Adams High School.
And I'm Kirsten, a senior at Carter High School. Welcome to an all-new edition of School Zone Dallas. Today, School Zone Dallas originates from Walnut Hill Elementary, where as you enter, you're told to better yourself, and as you leave, to better your world.
And that couldn't be any more true for all the students here, as there's all kinds of exciting things going on. And to catch us up to speed, let's head over to Samantha, who's on the scene.
Hey guys, Samantha here, and I'm in Miss Wilson's 5th grade language arts classroom, where behind me some truly state-of-the-art technology is in action. This is a smartboard, one of 2 here at Walnut Hill as part of a grant awarded to the school. It provides students and teachers the amazing hands-on ability to manipulate text, documents, and even the internet with just a simple touch for the entire class to see. It's one of the many unique educational opportunities found here at the school, and I'll be back later in the show to tell you more.
Thanks, Samantha.
Abe, I hope you're ready, because things are about to get loud.
Whoa!
Just last month, more than 12 high schools descended upon Sprague Field to compete in the very intense and exciting Battle of the Bands. Here's Alfonzo to tell us all about it.
Hi, I'm Alfonso, and I'm here at David W. Carter High School, home of the Cowboys Marching Band, where these band members are getting ready for the 2003 Battle of the High School Bands competition.
We practice every morning and every afternoon to prepare for the Battle of the Bands, and we also have sectionals with each section so that we'll know our music and everything. I also practice at home before the Battle of the Bands, but also during the week just so that I make sure that I'm ready for myself.
Yeah, we've been participants in the Battle of the Bands since 1985. We've been in it every year. And normally we come in first or second. It's an open invitation, and you talk with the band director, the guy at SOC, Mr. Jones, the band director will send out invitations, or he'll make a phone call, and you just respond and let him know whether or not you want to be in it. We just mark it on the calendar, and we let them know, and normally the seniors and the juniors and the sophomores will let the freshmen know how we feel about entering the competition. So we just put it on the calendar, put it on the board, and then students take it from there.
I'm Ladell Green. I'm a drum major for David W. Carter Marching Band. We do a lot in 10 minutes. We do 4 formations, different formations in 10 minutes. And it's really a lot to remember. Marching high, kick on 8, 8 to 5 marching. So yeah, it's a lot of stuff that we got to remember.
The closer we get to the contest, the more we intensify the practices. Mr. Sims, our other band director, will chart out the show. Mr. Young, our other band director, will help with the music, and he helps with the dance steps. I just come.
This is not your average Battle of the Bands competition. This high school Battle of the Bands has a rich history that sets the stage for the finest high school bands from around the DFW area.
On the parking lot at 5:30, and there was lines at the gate. There was lines for tickets. It absolutely astounds me. If you're not here by 6:30, you can forget it.
Okay, I've been doing this for about 10 years now, actually participating and helping out with this event. But this event is approximately 19 years old, and we'll be kind of like celebrating our 20th anniversary on next year.
All right now, the stage is set. With practices finally over, Carter High School and 8 other DISD schools are ready to make the trip to the 19th annual High School Battle of the Bands. And trust me, it will be a battle. Schools from as far away as Louisiana, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Mississippi, and Alabama come to compete. This year's host band is none other than the Golden Bears Marching Band from South Oak Cliff High School.
We're extremely excited to be the host for the Battle of the Band. This has been many years. This is exciting for the girls, it's exciting for the crowd, so we're going to have a good time today.
With me, at the Battle of the Bands, it's just fun to be there out there doing what you love to do, and that's march.
Let's majorette, Division II, Carter High School.
Well, as you can see, these guys have what it takes to compete against the best. For School Zone Dallas, I'm Alfonso.
What an amazing time!
It sure looked like it. There's no denying Walnut Hill is a very colorful and visual school. Throughout the halls, murals depicting problem areas for students on the tax test have been painted. So when the students go into the lunchroom or even to their next class, students here are constantly learning.
And learn they do, many of whom in a very unique way, as Walnut Hill is the only school in Dallas to offer a dual immersion program. Students are taught in English and Spanish and walk out of here both well-rounded and bilingual.
The dual immersion program is set up so that 50% of the students, their first language is Spanish, and 50% of the students' first language is not Spanish. And starting in the younger grades, a greater percentage of their day is taught in Spanish, because outside of the classroom they get English on the playground and in art, music, and PE, and in the lunchroom.
Esta es una estrategia que pueden usar cuando tienen una pregunta sobre valor posicional. I found this school, which is a fantastic school. And then I found this opportunity to teach this program, which is just tremendous. I think there are 265 schools around the country that are doing this, and we're one of them. So it's, you know, it's a cutting-edge program.
The new reaction that we have from parents, students,
about the program is that we did not expect the kids to be speaking the other language until they were in 2nd grade. But we find out that kids in 1st grade, they started to speak the language.
So almost summer is winter. But what about when we go from summer to winter? What's the season going from summer to winter? Oh, I know. Okay.
When I first came here to enroll them for my daughter and her husband, they told me that my oldest would be in a dual emerge program and say he'd be speaking Spanish. And at first I said, oh, okay. Then I said, well, that'd be something good for them to learn.
The idea is that by the time they leave Walnut Hill in 6th grade, they will be bilingual and biliterate in both Spanish and English. In other words, they'll be able to read and write in both languages. And that's advantageous to any child in today's society, particularly in Texas. That's an advantage when the job market. It'll be an advantage when they're applying to colleges. And research shows you that once you open up 2 pathways to language, it opens up more pathways to additional languages and achievement improves.
Hey Kirsten, you ever heard of lepidoptery?
Leopard what?
Lepidoptery. Naturally, the branch of entomology, the study of insects, that deals with lepidopterians.
He can't even pronounce it.
Okay, I mean butterflies. And this is so cool because at Martha Turner Riley Elementary, students and teachers are getting up close with these beautiful creatures. Not to mention the fact they have their very own butterfly guy.
Hi, I'm Cari, and I'm standing here in this amazing butterfly garden right here at Martha Turner Riley Elementary School. But this place hasn't always looked this way. Students and teachers have always loved to look out through the glass windows into the garden, but no one had time to take care of it. That is, until now. 5th grade teacher Kathy Coker is in charge of the garden, and after she told volunteer Tony D'Elia about it, the garden has never been quite the same.
Tony D'Elia has been an absolute lifesaver for our garden here at Riley. We had developed this garden area about 5 years ago, and some of the enthusiasm had dwindled somewhat. Last year when Tony arrived on the scene, he was a tutor at our school, and Tony and I connected and began talking about how we could revitalize the area and really turn it into an outdoor learning environment.
We've got milkweed over here and butterfly weed. Does anybody know what kind of butterfly that is? That's a Gulf fritillary. When I first came here, the garden was not well taken care of. So we started here with the butterfly garden and rebuilding that one. I hope to rebuild and work in each of the gardens that we have out here one at a time. Weeding seems to be the thing we have to do most around here, doesn't it? Yes. Yeah.
Since the teachers have to go out to the garden every day to water the plants, they hope to raise enough money to buy a sprinkler system.
Lots of butterflies out here today, huh guys? Yeah. We did have a fundraiser. We the children raised the chrysalises here, and we sold them at the sale that we had a couple weeks ago, and raised over $3,000 to help pay for the sprinkler system. And also we'd like to have a large gazebo out here to create an outdoor learning environment for the kids.
Tony has been a great impact on the learning for our campus. The experiences he's given our children have been numerous. One thing I learned as a science teacher when I was in the classroom is that science is not everybody's favorite subject. It's one of those courses where experience is your best teacher. And so that's something that Tony has opened the door for our children, is experiential learning.
The monarchs that are born now are bigger than they have been all summer, and that they're going to live up to 9 months.
They are?
9 months, and they're going to fly all the way down to Mexico.
I've learned that the monarch like the milkweed and Brew.
I learned about the life cycle of the butterfly. First it turns into an egg, then a caterpillar, then a chrysalis, and then it turns into an adult.
The joy of seeing the kids' faces is the most rewarding thing to me. My hope is that it will inspire the children to participate in their own communities in the future. Open it nice and slow.
As you can see, it takes a lot of hard work to maintain a butterfly garden, but just look around, it's well worth the effort. For Schools in Dallas, I'm Cari.
The butterfly guy, or should I say Mr. Delia, is a remarkable volunteer.
Absolutely. DISD has many committed volunteers donating their time each and every week and making a difference in our community. Now, to find another example of this, one doesn't have to look much farther than CAST. C-A-S-T. What is that, you may ask? Well, let's take it over to Angele to find out more.
Whee! Hi, everybody. Anyone interested in getting a free computer? I know, it sounds too good to be true. But for about 1,000 DISD families, it actually is true. The program is called CAST, Connect the Student to Technology, and this year's effort is the biggest one yet. For months, DISD's Technology Outreach Program has been collecting old computers from area businesses and government agencies who are updating their computers. They store them in this warehouse in South Dallas.
The Technology Outreach Program was started about 4 years ago. Its purpose is to refurbish computers and to put them in the hands of the DISD students. If these computers were not donated to the DISD, many of them would be sent to salvage. Once we receive a computer or computers, what we would do is conduct an evaluation of that system to see what its capabilities are and to see if it needs upgrading in some form. An example of that would be whether it needs memory, whether we need a DVD drive. Many of them come without modems, so that's a component that has to be in there. And we would conduct the evaluation and then put the components that are required.
Once the computers are cleaned up, each of the district's 8 area superintendents were asked to identify 125 families that would benefit from a free computer. Now it's time to give them all away.
We were going to give out 1,000 computers, which in essence was going to put 1,000 cars literally into this facility. And in order to do that, a tremendous amount of planning had to go into that day. The idea was to drive up, never get out of the car, and to have handle roughly about 300 cars an hour. And we did that consecutively for about 3.5 to 4 hours.
I see the looks on the students and the parents of the recipients, and they're extremely excited to receive a computer. And the computers are going to families who, without a program like this, would not probably be able to put a computer in their home.
The ultimate goal of the program is to put a computer in the hand of every DISD student. Now, with a population of 162,000, it's a tall order, but it's one that we will continue to work on as the years progress.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm LaWanda. My daughter is 7th grade at Comstock, and my son is in 9th grade at Spruce High School. When we picked it up, we said thank you very much, and we came home and we was really excited. They could learn how to type and do other sorts of things, like learn how to get on the internet to do homework, that they have to explore for science, and look at the Webster dictionary and things like that. So I'm looking forward to showing her how to work this computer to install the CDs. So we're going to have a marvelous time.
Free computers for DISD families? It's not just a dream, it's a reality. And the Technology Outreach Program is refurbishing other computers to give those away too. For Schools on Dallas, I'm Angele.
Wow, so far the Technology Outreach Program has handed out more than 4,000 computers in the past 4 years. And as Angele mentioned, they plan to hand out a lot more.
You know, walking through this school, you can't help but notice the importance placed on building a good character. I mean, it's everywhere. And as I understand it, our very own Samantha is all decked out and standing by to tell us why.
Thanks, Abe. I'm glad you noticed my very sporty Champs t-shirt. But before I tell you about them, I'd like for y'all to meet Mr. Rodriquez, who spends his time here volunteering at Walnut Hill. Thank you for joining us.
Sure, Samantha.
Can you please tell us how important it is for you to volunteer and spend time with kids?
Well, for me personally, back in 1994, I was injured on duty as a Dallas police officer. I'm disabled, and from my chest on down, and obviously after a few years I could no longer continue working as a police officer. And I thought, well, I have skills, I still have my mind, and I can get around. So being bilingual, why don't I go help the kids out at the school? For me personally, it has been so rewarding because when you see them progress, you have such a feeling of accomplishment, and they will remember you. I've got like one specific kid that I've been with for 3 years now, and he comes from a very bad family background, and I found out the other day that he refers to me as his godfather, and that took me by surprise. So those are the rewards that you get as an individual, and I say to anyone, even if you don't have the whole school year to give, just volunteer.
Thank you so much for your time. What you do here is incredible.
Sure, thank you.
And speaking of incredible, let's take a look at just what the student champs at this school can do. CHAMP stands for Champs Have and Model Positive Peer Skills and has played a major role in the culture of the school for the past decade.
The school benefits because the 6th graders are setting an example for the younger students, and every younger student can't wait to get to 6th grade and say, oh, I can't wait to be on this team, or I can't wait to be on this team. And the students get a choice about what team. They get to pick their first, second, or third choice, and then of course they're assigned their teams. And then we have this big rally at the beginning of the 6th grade at another site. We go and we have a big kickoff rally, and we tell them at that point what group they're going to be in, and then we get together as their team for the first time.
Well, CHAMPS is one of the main components of our character education program. It becomes kind of a rite of passage when you're a 6th grader. And we always talk to the older students about how they're the examples for the younger students on campus. And CHAMPS is a way that they can truly embrace and enact that.
Well, it feels great because you know you're doing something in the school and that you're part of the school.
I would hope that if someone came to visit Walnut Hill for the first time, that what they would go away with is the feeling of family. We've worked real hard that any adult in this building is a teacher. It doesn't matter what your official position is. Everybody comes in contact with the children.
Wow, here at Walnut Hill, character counts, and it's easy to understand why. Students here are developing traits of the highest caliber that will benefit them greatly in the future. For School Zone Dallas, I'm Samantha.
Hey everybody, Crystal here welcoming you to Preston Hollow Elementary School, where in this very room, Ms. Georgiana Wood has taught kindergarten for the past 15 years. This spring, she was one of the 4 finalists for Teacher of the Year. And as we're about to see, the difference she makes in these students' lives is nothing short of extraordinary.
I just love young children. I've tried 3rd grade, 2nd grade, and I love teaching all those grades. And I've even tried preschool, and that wasn't it either. But my niche was kindergarten. Been teaching 29 years. I'm lucky enough to have it be my passion, and it's what I do all my life. So I was lucky enough to know what I was going to be. I was lucky enough to get in the profession. I like making books. I like creating things with children, and I like the challenges of figuring out what to do to teach them. Buttons on Mr. B, look, see? All the way touching, see? The children that I teach come from different backgrounds. A lot of them had never been to school before, school readiness. I need to make them safe, feeling like this is their home, this is their second home. I flood them with language development, I flood them with literacy and songs and any kind of oral participation to get them interested in learning to read and expressing themselves, which includes your self-confidence.
Quarters here, quarter there. I see quarters everywhere. Children, children, what do you see? I see Annabelle looking at me.
They absolutely love Miss Wood's class. One of the things that I appreciate most is the pride they have.
Very good.
Even though English is their second language for most of the children that are in her classroom, what I have noticed is that they take such pride in feeling they can really read. And what I found to be true is by the end of the year, they can read just as well as children whose language is English as their first language as opposed to their second language. I can't think of anyone that deserves more to be recognized as Teacher of the Year.
You have to make your own win today.
She approaches life in such a way that she wants her children to be the children that everybody wants to see and learn more about. You can't make it past her classroom without her saying to you, Miss Parker, or whatever adult happens to be passing, my students have something they want to show you.
That's what I do. I just grab her in and say, come here, look at this. Straight line down. We'll go back to the top.
But she's always one of the favorite teachers. Students come back to see her all the time that have left this school.
They keep showing up and saying, do you remember me? And I'm going, well, who are you? Because they're women and men now, and they've grown so much. And I'll show them my little kindergartners and say, you were this big, how can I remember you? So they tell me their name, and right away it clicks. And I go, I know exactly who you are. Yes, I'm Mark.
It's really nice to see her again. It's the same thing, the room is exactly the same, and she looks the same. And I'm taller now, but it all looks the same size and everything.
You know, they say the best things you learn them in kindergarten. Well, the best things you learn them in Mrs. Wood's classroom. That's really what I would say.
It's so neat to see them successful. It's so neat to see them come back to you. It's really neat to think that I meant that much to them back in kindergarten. And, you know, change their lives a little bit for the better, so.
Mrs. Wood is an excellent teacher. I was a teacher assistant at the time, and she really inspired me a lot to become a teacher myself, which I'm now in the Grow Your Own program to become a teacher.
Miss Wood is a very hard worker. Miss Wood, she's very sharp. She has a lot of knowledge. Miss Wood, thank you so much for all that you've taught me through my internship and up to today, and I think in future years you've done wonders for me. You've taught me so much and made me so much better of a teacher. I've really grown from my time with you. Thank you very much.
You do the best you can with these little children, and you develop them, and you make them grow and be positive people in society. My father thought teachers were the godsend of humanity, and I was just raised thinking that was the best thing in the world to be.
Unfortunately, that's all the time we have left on this edition of School Zone Dallas. We'd like to thank Joanne Hughes and everyone here at Walnut Hill Elementary for their help and hospitality. It's truly been a pleasure.
I couldn't agree more. Hey, if there's something going down in your school and you want to let us know about it, drop us a line at schoolzone@dallasisd.org.
Or check us out on the web at www.dallasisd.org/schoolzone to find out all kinds of cool stuff about the show.
Join us next month as we come to you from George Washington Carver Learning Center in West Dallas.
But until then, don't hesitate to keep it right here. Line? Oh, yeah. In the zone.
Hi, I'm Laura Miller.
And I'm Mike Moses.
Mentoring a student for just 1 hour a week can make a big difference in their lives.
Today's students are tomorrow's workforce. Each of us is responsible for their success.
Call this number today.